often overlooked beside its famous neighbours. Albania is a striking destination defined by the untamed landscapes of the Balkans and the clear turquoise waters of the Mediterranean. The journey begins in the pulse of Tirana, a capital that buried its dark Cold War history inside the concrete tunnels of Bunkart, transforming paranoia into art beneath the watch of Mount Dujti. To the north, the landscape turns violent and majestic. Shkoda acts as the fortress gateway to the accursed mountains, where hikers conquer the legendary Theth to Valbona Trail and ferries drift. Through the emerald dream of Lake Koman, often called the Thailand of Europe. History here is written in stone and light, visible in the 1,000 watching windows of Berat's Ottoman houses, and the slate-grey fortress streets of Gjirokastër, a city that feels carved from the mountain itself. Driving south along the Riviera requires navigating notoriously wild roads. But the reward is the secluded glory of Gjipe Canyon and the pristine shores of Himare. In Sarandë, you can gaze across the water at the Greek island of Corfu. But the true prize is Ksamil, where the water turns a blinding turquoise, lapping against 4 islands that rival the Caribbean. Just steps away from the sand lies Butrint National Park, a time capsule where Greek theatres and Roman ruins slumber beneath the forest canopy, undisturbed by the modern world. Nature offers its own hypnosis at the Blue Eye, a bottomless spring of freezing water that stares back at you with an intense, unearthly shade of sapphire. A full sensory symphony awaits travellers in Theth, where the steady rush of the river blends with the soft bleating of grazing sheep. Scents of wood smoke and crushed wild mint hang in the air, creating an atmosphere that feels both rustic and refreshing. The village itself was established in the 16th century as a sanctuary for locals determined to preserve their Catholic traditions during the Ottoman era. Iconic landmarks anchor the landscape, most notably the picturesque stone Catholic church and the historically vital Reconciliation Tower. Guides at the tower often explain its solemn role in the Kanun, the ancient code of Albanian laws used to resolve blood feuds. Nature here feels untouched, boasting crystal clear river water and air so clean it restores the spirit. Wildlife adds to the pastoral charm as stray horses, foxes, and eagles roam freely alongside domestic livestock. The journey into the valley offers its own rewards, featuring a winding road with pull-offs that frame breathtaking mountain vistas. Local experts recommend visiting during May, June, or September to avoid the extreme heat and peak summer crowds. These shoulder seasons promise the perfect balance of mild weather and reasonable prices for a relaxing stay. Before we head to the next spot, here's a fun question. Which famous humanitarian and Nobel Peace Prize winner was born in Albania? Comment your answer. The jewel of the Albanian Riviera is undoubtedly Ksamil, a stunning coastal destination that lures travellers with its vibrant turquoise waters. Geography places this paradise just south of Sarandë and tantalisingly close to the Greek border, making it a strategic hub for exploration. Proximity to the UNESCO-protected Butrint National Park adds a rich layer of history to the standard beach getaway. Tourism has expanded rapidly over the last decade, yet the town miraculously retains the laid-back charm of a hidden Mediterranean gem. Families gravitate toward the shallow, safe shorelines, while younger visitors energize the atmosphere at lively beach bars and clubs during the summer. Luxury travelers find their sanctuary in exclusive resorts that offer private beach access and personalized spa services. The town's compact size ensures that most major attractions and sandy coves remain within easy walking distance for all guests. Fresh, locally caught seafood dominates the culinary scene, offering a taste of the ocean at restaurants overlooking the Ionian Sea. A short boat ride can even whisk visitors away to the nearby islands, providing a sense of isolation just minutes from the main coast. The remote wilderness of the Albanian Alps conceals the Shala River, a natural masterpiece often hailed as the Thailand of Albania for its striking scenery. Emerald green waters flow between towering limestone cliffs, creating a secluded paradise far removed from the crowded Mediterranean beaches. Access to this hidden gem typically begins with a journey through the Koman Lake Tunnel, where the bustling port initially greets travellers with a chaotic wall of people and boats. The standard adventure involves a 90-minute boat ride. That departs around 9:30 a.m., leaving the noise of civilization far behind. Surreal beauty unfolds as the vessel navigates the winding river, revealing reflections of lush greenery and dramatic mountains on the mirror-like surface. Gjipe serves as the final destination, offering visitors 4 hours of pure freedom to swim and hike. Come with us to the sea, where you can sink into the gentle shoreline. And let the calm waves surround you in pure, carefree bliss. The secluded jewel of the Albanian Riviera lies hidden between Dhermi and Himare, known to the world as Gjipe Beach. A dramatic landscape defines the setting, where the towering walls of Gjipe Canyon open up to meet the turquoise waters of the Ionian Sea. Access to this isolated paradise requires a spirit of adventure, demanding either a 30-minute hike down a rugged trail or a scenic arrival by boat. Soft golden sands and incredibly clear waters create an inviting sanctuary for travellers seeking an escape from the crowds. The shallow shoreline offers perfect conditions for swimming, while the rocky edges attract snorkelers eager to explore the vibrant underwater life. Adventure lovers often venture inland into the canyon itself, where high stone walls provide welcome shade even on the hottest summer days. Hidden caves and small natural springs dot the trekking path, adding layers of discovery to the rugged terrain. Rock climbers and birdwatchers find their haven here, utilising the steep limestone cliffs that frame the beach as both a playground and a nesting site. Commercial development remains notably absent, meaning no large resorts or loud beach clubs disrupt the tranquility of the environment. Visitors seeking total immersion often set up tents on the sand, choosing to spend the night under a canopy of stars accompanied by the sound of the waves. The vibrant city of Sarandë shines on the southeastern coast of Albania, serving as a radiant gateway to the Ionian Sea. History stretches back over 2,000 years here, intertwining the modern resort town with the ancient legacy of nearby Finnick. Tourism now drives the local economy, transforming the waterfront into a bustling promenade that rivals the charm of Italian beach resorts. Sunshine is the city's most reliable asset, boasting over 270 sunny days a year, the highest number in all of Europe. Spectacular views of the deep blue bay greet visitors at every turn, where playful dolphins and rare caretta turtles occasionally grace the shoreline. Pebble beaches fill with laughter during the summer months as families and friends gather to soak up the Mediterranean warmth. Nightlife brings a different energy to the coast, with bars and clubs pulsing with music and keeping the atmosphere alive until the early hours. Stalls along the seafront offer colourful souvenirs, while pop-up beach bars serve an endless array of affordable cocktails to thirsty travellers. The vibe leans toward the gaudy and energetic, yet the streets remain welcoming and safe for solo explorers wandering through the crowds. Which region are you curious about? Let us know in the comments. We'll see you there in the next video. The enchanted city of Gjirokastër rises from the steep slopes of the Drino River Valley, its history written in every stone. Locals know it as the City of 1,000 Staircases, a place defined by hundreds of Ottoman-style tower houses topped with distinctive grey slate roofs. Origins of the settlement trace back to the imposing Gjipe Castle, a 4th century fortress that reigns as the largest in Albania. History comes alive within the castle walls at the Museum of Arms, which displays a vast collection of weaponry ranging from prehistoric times to World War II. The old town functions as a labyrinthine treasure trove where every corner reveals a captivating blend of Ottoman and Albanian cultural influences. Architectural masterpieces like the Skendeli and Zikat houses stand as prime examples of the era's elite lifestyle, preserving the grandeur of the 19th century. Visitors wandering through these well-preserved interiors can almost hear the echoes of family gatherings that once filled the rooms. Cobbled pathways worn smooth by countless footsteps over centuries guide explorers through a mesmerizing journey into the past. The bustling bazaar serves as the town's vibrant heart, offering a lively space to discover local handicrafts and taste traditional cuisine. Sensory delights fill the air here, mixing the aromas of spices with the vibrant colours of textiles and the cheerful sounds of bartering. The city of 1/1 windows stands as a historic jewel in the heart of Albania, surrounded by a lush natural landscape. Recognition as a UNESCO World Heritage Site since 2008 validates its 2,400-year history and its status as a symbol of religious coexistence. The Osum River winds through the valley, separating the historic Kala and Mangalem districts against the backdrop of the Timori Mountains. The arch bridge of Gorica, built in 1780, connects the city sections and leads to the neighbourhood of Gorica across the water. White Ottoman-era houses stacked on the hillsides create a unique spectacle of endless windows that gave the city its famous nickname. History dating back to the Illyrian, Roman and Byzantine periods converges at the Castle of Berat, a fortress originating from the 4th century. Walls within the castle complex protect the Byzantine churches of St. Mary and St. Michael, along with the Onufri Museum's collection of religious icons. Cobbled streets function as a living museum of traditional life, where locals sell regional products and maintain their ancient customs. Adventure enthusiasts often head to the nearby Osum Canyon to explore caves, climb rugged terrain, or raft down the river. The fertile valley surrounding the city supports thriving vineyards that cultivate indigenous grape varieties unique to the region. Local wine tours provide opportunities to visit these scenic estates, offering tastings and a closer look at the production process. Beaches in Dhermi are surrounded by mountains, offering views that accompany activities, ranging from adrenaline games to peaceful sunbathing. The nearby Petrelë Beach provides a quieter alternative, stretching for 3 kilometres along the pristine coast. Drymade's Beach, often cited as the most beautiful in Albania, sits in a small bay surrounded by a pine forest where a large rock separates pebbles from sand. Boat rentals allow visitors to reach Gjipe Bay, where they can explore the 4-kilometre canyon or view the Petrelë waterfall. Access to the mysterious Pirate's Cave is restricted exclusively to those travelling by water. Extensive conservation works have transformed the village, preserving the vernacular terraced architecture that distinguishes Dhermi from other coastal settlements. Rehabilitation projects aim to honour local history through initiatives that educate visitors about the traditional way of life. Historical landmarks in the area include the Monastery of St. Theodore, the Monastery of Panagia, and the Church of Hipapante. White stone houses with blue windows have earned the town the nickname Albanian Santorini due to their striking resemblance to the Greek style. Visitors can purchase local olive oil and honey as souvenirs, though a rental car is required to fully access all these sites along the coastline. If you've been here before, comment number 2. If not, comment number 4. The Blue Eye, known locally as Siri I Colter, sits amidst lush greenery as a stunning freshwater spring. Visuals from above resemble a bright blue human eye, featuring a vibrant outer iris and a dark central cave acting as the pupil. Experts classify this geological wonder as a vertical karst spring, though its true depth remains a mystery beyond the 50 metres reached by divers. The water temperature stays at a freezing 10 degrees Celsius year-round, making it a refreshing, if shocking, spot during summer. Bubbles rise rapidly from the bottom, pushing water to the surface at a staggering rate of over 18,000 litres per second. This massive outflow feeds directly into the Bistrus River before winding its way out toward the Ionian Sea. Local folklore attributes the spring's creation to a giant snake. That was finally defeated when an old man tricked it into eating a burning donkey. The snake's burning eye reportedly fell down the mountain during the creature's death throes, piercing the earth to form the water source seen today. A small viewing platform allows visitors to observe the bubbling phenomenon and the ripples creating waves on the surface. Signs officially prohibit swimming due to the cold and depth. Yet brave individuals often ignore the warnings to jump into the frigid water. The surrounding forest functions as a protected natural monument filled with oak and sycamore trees, where walking trails and camping are permitted. Valbona Valley covers an impressive 8,000 hectares within the Albanian Alps, also known as the Accursed Mountains. The district borders Kosovo to the northeast and Montenegro to the northwest, forming a region locally known as Malezi, or the Highlands. The name Valbona refers to both the river flowing through the world-class valley and the central village located in the Tepelena district. The valley lies between rugged, breathtaking peaks that create a festival of colours and contrasts for visitors. Valbona Village serves as the park's focal point, offering characteristic dwellings and warm local hospitality. Nature, clean air, and abundant water resources provide the perfect conditions for true ecotourism experiences. A trip in the fall reveals surprising beauty, drawing travellers eager for adventure away from the coastline. The International Union for Conservation of Nature lists the park as Category 2, while the Gjipe River within its boundaries is a UNESCO primeval beach forest site. Plant life recognises the park as an important plant area, and the region is also designated as part of the Emerald Network under the Berne Convention. The crystalline waters of the Shala and Valbona rivers converge to form Koman Lake, collecting alpine meltwater from the surrounding mountain peaks. This waterway cuts through dramatic cliffs, reaching heights of up to 1,500 metres, creating a wild landscape often compared to the Norwegian fjords. A boat trip along this route reveals slopes lined with dense greenery and twisting water that reflects sunlight in mesmerising patterns. The lake functions as a vital connecting link for the isolated inhabitants of Shkoda, Tepelena and Puka, providing a unique water route through the region. Construction of a hydroelectric dam in 1979 created this artificial aquifer, which was historically known as the Light of the Party. Formation of the reservoir occurred on the Drin River at Vjosa, following the confluence of the White Drin and Black Drin rivers. Vjosa Lake, part of this massive hydrological system, boasts a depth of 167 metres, a surface area of 72.5 square kilometres and a volume of 2.7 billion cubic metres. Anglers frequent the cold waters for fishing excursions, taking advantage of a flourishing ecosystem that supports a variety of native species. Inland waterway transport remains essential for passengers and freight, while the town of New Kooks stands on the east coast near the flooded ruins of the old city. Exploration opportunities extend beyond the main channel to tributaries like the Gjipe, Berat and Gomana rivers, as well as natural landmarks like the Shala and Ko caves. Specific locations worth visiting include Peace Island, Bloodstream, and a host of remote villages such as Svine, Burbel, Gjipe and Tepelena. The dramatic Osum Canyon carves a deep tear through the lush countryside of central Albania. Wedged between the national parks of Timori Mountain and Fir of Hotova Dangeli, the Osum River forged these vertiginous cliffs over millions of years, creating a landscape of tumbling waterfalls and stunted trees that cling to the rock face. Geologically, the canyon is a marvel, featuring intricate caves, arches, and staggeringly tight passages that open into wide, echoey spaces. Lush greenery lines the trails where rare plant species thrive, and spring brings a vibrant burst of colour to the ecosystem. A combination with the nearby Bogove waterfall, a charming cascade diving into an icy natural pool, makes this area one of Albania's premier adventure playgrounds. Activities available to visitors include rafting, canyoning, river trekking, and hiking through the rugged terrain. Location places this site about 1.5 hours from Berat, making it an ideal day trip or an overnight stop in the town of Çorovode. Water levels fluctuate dramatically, swelling with snowmelt in early spring and reducing to shallow channels and isolated pools by the height of summer. Preparation for any visit requires checking the weather forecast to ensure safety, and packing essentials like hiking shoes, sun protection, and reusable water bottles. Practical tips for a successful journey include wearing life jackets for water activities, following leave no trace principles, and hiring a local guide for deeper insight. Tepelena, located in the southern province of Dhermi, is widely recognised as the historic city of the ruler Ali Pasha Tepelena. The mighty Vjosa River, often called the Queen of the Rivers of Europe, crisscrosses the municipality and defines the valley's character. Natural beauty is further enhanced by the proximity of the Shendeli mountain to the northeast and the rugged Kurvalesh highlands in the centre. A captivating landscape emerges at the convergence of Albania's two largest rivers, the Vjosa and the Drinos, flanked by the Shendeli Lungsheri Bereto mountain ranges. Strategic positioning defines the town, featuring ancient walls that embrace the rocky terrain under the imposing gaze of the fortress. Cold water sources in the area serve as a famous roadside attraction that continuously draws nature enthusiasts travelling further south. The local culture encompasses the diverse traditions of the Liberia province and the territories situated to the right of the Vjosa River Valley. The scenic Llogara Pass serves as a dramatic gateway connecting the interior of Albania to the stunning turquoise waters of the Ionian coast. Location places this high-altitude corridor within the Saronian Mountains. offering a vital link between Vlore and the Riviera town of Dhermi. Breathtaking panoramic views greet travellers at the summit, revealing a sharp contrast between the rugged mountain peaks and the glittering sea below. Access is relatively straightforward via the SH8 road, with the most common approach beginning from the northern city of Fir, approximately 50 kilometres away. The drive itself is an adventure featuring winding, uphill curves that demand careful navigation, but reward drivers with spectacular natural scenery. Travellers coming from the capital, Tirana, typically reach the pass in about 3 hours by following the A2 highway before merging onto the coastal route. Climate conditions at the pass differ significantly from the coast, offering a Mediterranean mix of warm, dry summers and mild, wet winters. Elevations here provide a refreshing escape from the intense summer heat, with temperatures dropping noticeably as vehicles ascend the mountain. The best time to visit is during daylight hours, as the steep, twisting road becomes challenging and potentially dangerous to navigate after dark. Summer months, particularly July and August, see the highest volume of traffic, as tourists flock to the beaches of the Albanian Riviera. Winter visits require extra caution, but the pass remains open year-round to facilitate travel through this majestic landscape. Voskopoja defies simple categorization, existing as neither a lost medieval fantasy nor just another ordinary Albanian village. Geography places this settlement in the rolling hills west of Kruja, in the country's southeastern region. The village spreads across a wide, open valley where the days are perfumed by the distinct scent of pine smoke and damp grass. Backpackers frequently utilise this spot as a slow-down stop to catch their breath between major destinations. The cool mountain air offers a refreshing contrast to the stifling heat found in the surrounding lowlands. Activities here are generally relaxed, consisting of easy half-day walks through the surrounding meadows and forests. A cluster of old churches stands as the defining feature of the landscape. These stone monuments quietly remind visitors that this quiet hamlet was once a serious cultural centre. The atmosphere is one of tranquility, prioritising peace over high-octane adventure. Travellers come here to experience a slower pace of life while surrounded by nature. This historic site ultimately preserves its legacy through the surviving religious architecture that hints at its former importance. The strategic fortress of Rozafa Castle stands perched on a rocky hill, overlooking the spectacular confluence of the Buna and Drin rivers. Roots of this massive stone structure trace back to the ancient Illyrian era, offering sweeping panoramic views of Lake Shkodra and the Albanian Alps. Folklore surrounds the site, most notably the powerful legend of Rozafa, a woman whose tragic sacrifice embodies themes of devotion and maternal strength. Ancient tales recount how the wife of the youngest builder accepted her fate: to be walled alive into the fortress to prevent its nightly collapse. Her poignant agreement came with the condition that her right eye, hand, foot, and breast remain free to comfort and nurse her infant son. This emotional story is immortalised by a sculpture near the entrance, remaining a moving symbol of the burdens borne by women throughout history. Remnants of Roman, Byzantine, and Ottoman civilizations are layered within the castle walls, which also house a small museum detailing the site's past. Access to the grounds is available year-round, with daily operating hours typically running from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. and modest entrance fees. Photography enthusiasts are advised to visit during the early morning, or late afternoon to capture the landscape in the most favourable lighting conditions. Families will find the destination particularly suitable due to the wide pathways, safe viewing platforms and educational opportunities regarding history. The fortress remains a dominant feature of the landscape, located just a short distance from the city centre where the major rivers merge. The story of the Macy Bridge begins in the 18th century, around 1770. Under the ambitious guidance of Mehmet Bushati, a notable Ottoman administrator. Bushati understood the critical need for a reliable crossing over the Kir River to connect Shkoda with the remote Dukagjian region. Lush greenery, distant mountains, and clear blue waters create a magical backdrop. For those exploring the site on foot or swimming in the refreshing river, the coastal city of Vlore stands as a stunning meeting point, where the Adriatic and Ionian seas merge against a backdrop of rugged mountain slopes. Geographic location places this pearl of Albanian tourism in the southwest, approximately 135 kilometres from Tirana. Historical records from antiquity refer to the settlement as Olona, a prominent city of southern Illyria that flourished after the fall of Apollonia. National pride centres on this location because the formal declaration of Albanian independence from the Ottoman Empire took place here in 1912. The Nada Lagoon is strategically positioned along Albania's southwestern coast, serving as the country's largest Adriatic wetland, just a short drive from Vlore. A diverse landscape of shallow waters, salt pans, sandy dunes, and marshlands defines this massive 42 square kilometre nature reserve. Maritime commerce thrives here as Vlore functions as the second largest port city in the country and a vital economic hub. Cultural heritage runs deep in the region, best exemplified by the traditional Vlore polyphony, a style of singing recognised as a UNESCO asset. Rapid development in recent years has transformed the infrastructure, bringing modern hotels and restaurants to the beachfront areas. Nestled along the pristine shores of the Ionian Sea, Himare stands as a captivating beach resort that seamlessly blends relaxation with genuine Albanian charm. The town slips gracefully from the mountains into the water, beckoning intrepid adventurers seeking an idyllic seaside escape. Summer marks the best time to visit as the warm weather brings the area to life, without attracting the overwhelming crowds found in other Riviera hotspots. 5 distinct beaches dot the coastline, each offering a slightly different atmosphere for travellers to explore. Calm waters around the bay create the perfect conditions for stand-up paddleboarding, allowing visitors to view the coves from a fresh perspective. Rentals for kayaks and boards are readily available near Spila Beach, with prices remaining reasonable for families and solo adventurers alike. Accommodation options are split between the convenient beachside areas and the historic, albeit quieter, Old Town perched on the hill. The Old Town is worth a short visit for its ruins and views, but staying near Sfageo or Prinos beaches proves more practical for daily activities. Access to the Sfageo boardwalk ensures that the region's best restaurants and lively bars are just a short stroll away. Albania is fast becoming a hotspot for ecotourism, and the Peshturë waterfall hike is a perfect example of what makes this country so special. Surrounded by the rolling hills of Tepelena and flowing into crystal clear streams, the waterfall is not just a visual spectacle but also a peaceful retreat from busy city life. Travellers can explore hiking trails, Peshturë, discover hidden viewpoints, and enjoy the serene environment, all while supporting sustainable tourism initiatives in the region. Natural sulfur springs at Benja rise through deep tectonic cracks to create these famous thermal waters. 6 distinct springs flow naturally into stone baths, located on both sides of the river. The most famous and spacious bath sits directly next to the iconic Kadiut Bridge at the entrance of the Llogara Canyon. Smaller, more secluded pools are hidden further up the gorge for those willing to explore. Temperatures in the water range from a lukewarm 22 to 28 degrees Celsius, with flow rates varying significantly between springs. Mineral composition is primarily chlorosodium calcium, offering various health benefits. Therapeutic properties differ by pool, targeting ailments such as skin conditions, stomach issues, and rheumatism. High sulfur content gives the area the distinct, pungent smell typical of geothermal activity. Access is provided by an asphalt road turning off the main route from Permet near the village of Petrelë. Camping enthusiasts can pitch tents or park motorhomes near the entrance for a small fee during the peak season. Summer visitors will find street vendors selling snacks and drinks, though permanent facilities are non-existent on the site. Crowds at the main pool can be avoided by walking upstream to the quieter ponds located inside the canyon. Albania's first UNESCO World Heritage Site, Butrint, preserves over 3,000 years of history within its sprawling 29 square kilometre grounds. This ancient city functions as a timeline of Mediterranean civilization, having been shaped successively by Greek, Roman, Byzantine, Venetian, and Ottoman rulers. The rise from a humble port to a major settlement occurred thanks to Asclepius, the god of medicine whose healing waters attracted pilgrims from far and wide. Wealth generated from visitor offerings funded the construction of significant structures, including a treasury and the iconic theatre that still dominates the site. The theatre itself illustrates the city's evolution, transforming from a Greek space for religious debate into a Roman-style venue complete with a central stage. A specific inscription found on one of the seats dates back nearly 2,500 years, proving the longevity of this structure, which still hosts public performances. Urban expansion during the 1st century eventually pushed the city limits beyond the original walls, spreading down to the shores of the Vjosa Channel. Excavations in the town centre continue to reveal complex public buildings like bathhouses, many of which remain partially hidden beneath the modern walking paths. Quiet moments on the ancient steps allow travellers to soak in the tranquility and admire views that have barely changed over the last 2 millennia. A complete tour of the ruins generally demands 2 to 3 hours, though a quick walkthrough can be managed in about 60 minutes. Summer visits require plenty of water and sun protection, while the shaded areas offer perfect settings for a scenic picnic lunch during the break. The remarkable Lezhe Castle stands proudly on a 322-metre hill, commanding a strategic view over the Drin River and the coastal plains of northern Albania. Origins of this fortification date back to the Illyrian era, though its current form reflects centuries of modifications by Venetian and Ottoman hands. The ancient settlement, known historically as Lissus, served as a critical stronghold that guarded the fertile valley and monitored vital trade routes along the Adriatic. Archaeological evidence confirms that Illyrians built strong stone walls here in the 3rd century BC, before the Romans integrated the site into their defence system. This fortress functions today as a powerful symbol of unity and national pride. embodying the enduring resilience of the Albanian identity. Exploration of these hidden pathways and the majestic ramparts ensures that a trip to Lezhe Castle becomes a memorable journey into the heart of Albania's heritage. The bustling capital of Albania, Tirana, sits in the western part of the country, nestled among picturesque mountains near the Adriatic Sea. History here is rich and diverse, dating back to the city's establishment in the 17th century and its subsequent declaration as the capital in 1920. The influence of various cultures is visible everywhere. From Ottoman mosques and Italian fascist buildings to the legacy of World War II anti-fascist resistance. The city radiates outward from Skanderbeg Square, where strict zoning regulations now aim to control the chaotic growth of the suburbs. A unique cityscape features an incongruous blend of communist-era concrete, Italian colonial accents, and ultra-modern office towers rising into the sky. Urban renewal campaigns have transformed the environment, demolishing unsafe structures built by squatters after the 1992 collapse of communism. Former Mayor Edi Rama launched an ambitious beautification scheme in the early 2000s, believing that civic order and tourism required an aesthetically pleasing foundation. His vision led to the planting of thousands of trees and the repainting of drab downtown buildings in flamboyant colours and bold patterns. Walking through the streets feels raw and real, with sleek new architecture standing side by side, with crumbling concrete blocks covered in political graffiti. Colours spill out in every direction, from apartment blocks painted in bright oranges and pinks to giant abstract murals wrapping around entire facades. This explosion of art suggests a city that, after decades of isolation and dictatorship, can finally release its bottled-up energy for the world to see. The stunning coastal region known as the Cape of Rodon projects into the Adriatic Sea. Situated within the municipality of Durrës in western Albania. Picturesque scenery defines the landscape here, featuring rugged rolling hills, sheer rocky cliffs, and two distinct beaches framed by soft golden sand. Nature lovers and outdoor enthusiasts flock to this destination to enjoy breathtaking views and activities, ranging from swimming and sunbathing to exploring deep local caves. History imbues the Cape with profound significance, as the site has served as a vital strategic trading port since the era of Roman dominance. A fortification built by the Venetians in the 16th century remains a key landmark. Originally constructed to defend the city of Durrës from seaborne attacks. Local legends trace the origins of the name back to Rodon, the official god of the Illyrian state, who was immortalized on ancient coins and in temple paintings. The ideal window for a visit falls between the months of May and August, ensuring perfect weather conditions for a summer vacation by the water. Hiking trails across the rugged peninsula offer outdoor adventurers a perfect blend of exercise and photography, traversing coastal cliffs and dense pine forests. The emerald green waters of Lake Bovilla lie nestled between the rugged peaks of Mount Gjipe and the slopes of Mount Dite, just 20 kilometers northeast of Tirana. Construction of the Bovilla Dam in 1996 created this massive reservoir, which now supplies drinking water to the capital while serving as a stunning natural escape. Travellers can trade bustling city streets for untouched wilderness within a single hour, finding tranquil surroundings that feel worlds away from urban life. Access requires navigating the Tirana to Zalbasta Road, a journey that eventually transitions into a rough gravel section demanding about 30 minutes of careful driving. Most guided tours include a hike to the famous Mount Gjipe viewpoint, a perch situated 500 metres high that offers the definitive panoramic shot of the turquoise water. Independent drivers are strongly advised to use a 4x4 vehicle, as road conditions can become challenging and unpredictable, especially after heavy rainfall. Summer months fill the lakeshore with fragrant wildflowers, while the arrival of autumn transforms the landscape into a dramatic palette of golden and red hues. Overnight stays allow adventurous visitors to witness the mist drifting over the water at sunrise, catching the moment when the sky reflects in the glass-like surface. Proper preparation is essential, meaning visitors must wear sturdy hiking shoes to safely tackle the rocky and steep trail leading up to the observation deck. Self-sufficiency is mandatory since the area lacks shops or facilities, requiring everyone to pack plenty of water and snacks for the duration of the trip. Environmental respect remains paramount because the lake functions as a critical water source. And checking the weather forecast helps avoid muddy difficulties on the trails. Petrelë Castle stands proudly above the Osum Valley. As a historic medieval fortress located just 20 minutes from the capital of Tirana. Many travellers overlook this extraordinary site, missing out on an authentic experience where history, landscape, and culture blend seamlessly. Its striking position on a steep rocky hill served as a critical defence point for the central region for more than 1,500 years. Origins of the structure trace back to a Byzantine lookout that later evolved into a key fortress during the 15th century resistance against the Ottoman Empire. Leadership under Albania's national hero, Skanderbeg, relied on this stronghold, which was historically commanded by his sister, Mamica Castrioti. Unlike many silent ruins across Europe, this castle remains alive and welcoming, hosting a traditional restaurant within its ancient walls. Visitors typically arrive expecting a simple photo stop but quickly discover a storybook atmosphere, created by stone paths, wooden balconies, and scenic terraces. Lynn stands as one of the most beautiful and oldest inhabited places in all of Europe. Located on the picturesque Albanian shore of Lake Ohrid. Archaeological research has uncovered an astounding 8,500-year-old stilt village beneath the waters, proving the basin has been a cradle of life since Neolithic times. The experience of walking through the village today masks the reality that visitors are standing above thousands of years of layered history. One of the village's greatest treasures lies on the hill above, a 6th century early Christian basilica adorned with spectacular Byzantine mosaics. These artistic masterpieces feature geometric patterns and floral ornaments that speak to a time when the area was a lively spiritual centre. Significance comes from the rare continuity of human presence, as early settlements evolved into a living community rather than turning into abandoned ruins. Excavations confirm that prehistoric communities, Illyrian tribes, and Byzantine Christians all successively called this peninsula home. Layers of the past are visible everywhere, from the hilltop ruins and mosaic floors to the traditional houses built with local stone and wood. Daily life remains peaceful and authentic, with fishermen repairing nets at sunrise and families preserving traditional gliko in their homes. Simplicity defines the charm here, offering fresh air, blue waters, and a serene lifestyle that feels rooted in centuries of tradition. Travellers seeking authenticity will find a genuine view of Albanian village life. That has hardly changed in decades, free from the crowds of nearby tourist hubs. The historic Kruja Castle, known locally as Kalaja e Krujes, stands proudly on a sloping plateau at an elevation of 600 metres within the county of Dure. Origins of this stronghold date back to the 5th or 6th century under the Byzantine Empire, though it became legendary during the 15th century resistance against Ottoman rule. Skanderbeg, the Albanian national hero, famously raised the first Albanian flag here in 1443, after defecting from Ottoman service to lead the League of Lezhe. History records 3 successful defences against massive Ottoman sieges between 1450 and 1467, cementing the castle's status as a symbol of unbreakable resilience. The final fall came only in 1478 after a year-long siege, resulting in the tragic slaughter of the remaining defenders and the enslavement of the women. Remnants of the original structure today include a ruined watchtower on the north side, the main western gate, and fragments of the southern walls. The large, historic-looking building dominating the entrance is actually a modern addition from the 1980s, housing the Gjirokastër Skanderbeg National Museum. Visitors can freely explore the castle grounds, strolling through tranquil cobbled streets that now host charming homestays and traditional restaurants. Magnificent views from the plateaus stretch far across the landscape, offering a breathtaking perspective on the terrain Skanderbeg once defended. The Skanderbeg Museum requires an entrance ticket, but the outer fortifications and the atmosphere of the ancient site are open to all without charge. A walk through the old Ottoman bazaar just outside the walls completes the experience, making spring or autumn the perfect times for a visit. The Vjosa River represents a rare, natural phenomenon, as one of the last and largest wild rivers remaining in Europe. This sinuous body of water braids itself into the landscape, emptying and regenerating without the interference of human-made structures. Only a fraction of the world's large rivers remain free-flowing, making the Vjosa a critical sanctuary for global biodiversity. Establishment of the Vjosa Wild River National Park on March 15, 2023. Marked a historic victory for conservationists after a decade of advocacy. A coalition of government and civil society actors created this protection status to safeguard over 1,100 animal species, including 13 that are globally threatened. The park also protects the heritage of 100,000 local residents, whose livelihoods and culture have been tied to the river for centuries. Phase 1 of the project encompasses a massive 20,000 hectares, securing 400 kilometres of river from the Greek border to the Adriatic Sea. Future ambitions for Phase 2 involve expanding transboundary protections into Greece to cover the headwaters and additional tributaries. Access to this remote wilderness is best achieved by flying into Tirana and driving south, or taking a ferry from Corfu to Sarandë. Public transport options are limited to informal furgons, making a private rental car the most practical choice for exploration despite the chaotic local driving style. Experienced cyclists can also traverse parts of the region via the UNESCO cycle route, though the challenging geography demands a high level of skill. The imposing Ali Pasha's castle of Porto Palermo sits on a small island within the picturesque Bay of Palermo, located between Kiparo and Himare. A narrow strip of land connects the fortification to the mainland, allowing visitors to access the site on foot from the coastal road about 45 kilometres from Sarandë. Historical claims often attribute construction to Ali Pasha of Tepelena in the early 19th century, with legends suggesting French engineers were killed to keep its secrets. Debates among historians persist, however, as the triangular shape and round towers, bear a striking resemblance to Venetian architecture found at Butrint. The bay itself served as a crucial harbour in the ancient world, known originally as Panormos, before receiving its current name during the Byzantine era. Roles for the castle shifted dramatically during the 20th century, serving as a prison and military shelter during and after World War II. Designation as a cultural monument in 1948 ensured its preservation, and the structure now operates as a museum open to the public. St. Mary's Monastery sits as a Byzantine-era jewel on Zvernek Island, tucked within the tranquil waters of the Nata Lagoon near Vlore. This religious site, believed to have been built between the 11th and 14th centuries, reflects Albania's Orthodox heritage through its solid stone walls and classic cross-and-square architectural design. Access to the island is provided by a picturesque 270-metre wooden footbridge. That gently leads visitors from the mainland to the pine-covered grounds of the sanctuary. Scholarly debate continues regarding the monastery's exact origins, with historians placing its construction anywhere from the 11th century to a later phase in the 13th or 14th century. The setting offers a rare fusion of architectural history and unspoiled nature, creating a peaceful retreat along Albania's southern coast. Albania surprises you quietly, not with spectacle, but with moments that feel raw, intimate, and unexpectedly beautiful. It's the kind of place where winding coastal roads, stone villages, and empty mountain trails make you forget the rush of the outside world. Days pass slowly here, filled with strong coffee, sea air, and conversations that don't need many words. What stays longest is not just the scenery, but the feeling of discovering something still honest and unpolished. Albania doesn't try to impress, and that's exactly why it leaves such a deep mark